it's Ginger Markley, and this video is a companion to the class I taught on making your own repeat patterns using watercolor and paper. You can probably get a lot out of this video even if you didn't take the class, but if you took the class, you probably have or are working on something that looks like this that is ready to go, and your next step is to scan it. I usually scan it anywhere from 150 dpi to 450 dpi, up to you. After you scan it, it's time to go to Photoshop.
After scanning, it's time to crop. In crop options, I choose square or 1:1 ratio. That's actually why we did our design as a square, because it makes the cropping stage really easy. You can make watercolor repeat pattern designs on rectangles, but it makes cropping more challenging. Another thing that makes cropping easier is to scan the design with a contrast background behind it. So I put a piece of blue paper behind my design, and you can see that it makes it really easy to see where my design ends and the background begins. It's really important to crop as accurately as possible. You might need to tilt the design and go back and forth a bit. If you did not cut accurately, you will not be able to crop it perfectly. Now it's time to erase the seams using the stamp tool. Off screen, I'm going to be pressing the Alt key in order to select an area of the design to copy from. You can tell when I'm pressing the Alt key when the mouse cursor turns into a little target symbol right here. There. So I'm just pressing it once right at the edge of the design, and then I am using that area to erase the seam. So you can see the little plus symbol is the area I'm copying from, and the little circle symbol is the area I am copying onto, and it basically really quickly and easily erases the seam, as long as you follow the two pieces of advice that I gave you in class, which were: make sure that you don't have any elements of your design closer to the edge than, say, a 1/4 inch away. And if you do have elements of your design that cross the seam, you want to cross the seam as much as possible at a 90-degree angle, or kind of similar. Sometimes the stamp tool does introduce little weird areas. So if you see like a little shadow from the stamp tool, like this one right here, just stamp from another area and patch that up. Before we go to the next step, we need to know the exact size of the image in pixels. So go to Image, Image Size, and make sure Pixels is selected. If this number is odd, just change it by 1 in order to make it an even number. Write that number down, and then plug it into the calculator and divide it in half. Write this number down. This is the magic number. Now we're going to do the same process we used when we painted the image. We're going to switch the top to the bottom. We're going to switch the left and the right, and then we're going to switch the top and the bottom again. We're going to do that using a filter in Other called Offset. Horizontal is left, right, vertical is top, bottom. So type the magic number into vertical and hit OK. You can now see there is a new seam visible in the middle of the image because we switched the top and the bottom. We're going to use the same process as before to erase that seam. Now we're going to use that same tool in Filter, Other, Offset to switch the left and the right by typing the magic number into horizontal and a 0 into vertical. Again, you can see a new seam running up and down in the center of the image because we switched the left and the right. So again, we're going to use the stamp tool to erase that seam. And last, we're going to switch the top and the bottom again, Filter, Other, Offset. And again, we're going to put the magic number in vertical and 0 in horizontal in order to switch the top and the bottom. This last configuration might look like nothing needs to be done, but check right near the middle for any little weird jogs. Like there's a very slight weird jog right here. So I'm just going to do a little spot check with the stamp tool to smooth that jog out. After double checking your image for any little errors or weird areas that you might want to fix with the stamp tool, it's time to save and upload onto Spoonflower. You'll need an account, which is free, and once you have one, go to your design library and hit Add Design. You'll get a page that looks like this, where you upload your design. It tells you the file formats you need. JPEG is pretty good. And just confirm that you actually made this art, which you did. Yay! That's pretty cool. Uploading the files can take a while. If you have a slow internet, don't worry if it takes like an hour or more. I scanned this file super huge at 450 dots per inch. So I'm going to have to make it smaller. There's the option to make it smaller. And this is what it looks like once it's all together. See, it magically repeats and goes all the way across the fabric.